Hi everyone. So this is the first live audit of the websites you have submitted. Thank you all for submitting the websites. I will be reviewing them in the order they were submitted. How many websites I can review in a given week or month really depends on how much time I have. This is like an extra thing in addition to the course, something that simply came up as an idea. So those videos, live audits, will not be like perfectly edited. They will not have like all those things that those lessons have, because the purpose of those is simply to show you quickly the website, how I review it, what I may pay attention to. These aren't like in-depth audits, which I teach you to do, like which take 30 hours or 50 hours to complete. This is like a quick review that may spark some ideas. And since I'm doing this live and I haven't like analyzed this site in any way before, I may not be able to like spot all the issues it has. So this is basically to give you some ideas and maybe to teach you a little bit how I do those live audits and how I am able to like quickly spot some SEO issues in a website within like a couple of minutes, because this is also something I do very often when I have a lead. A potential client, a prospect is coming to me. They send me the URL and I just have to like take a quick look like that and more or less know what issues the website has and potentially what things the site may have to work on, and the things that I may have to like review in more detail once I get to do the full audit. So this is the homepage. One thing I already see, this is the main menu. I see that some of the elements of the menu actually are simply like jump links to a specific section of that page, which is okay. But in most cases, if you want to rank for like a separate keyword, like let's say this one, AI Resume Builder, you should have a dedicated page all about it. I understand there is like, this one requires login. So this is one thing. I don't like one pagers. This isn't like fully one pager, because some of those pages links actually go to a separate page. Yes, but some of them don't. So this is like the first impression I have. I can see this the site is quite heavy in JavaScript. I'm pretty sure that when I disable JavaScript, I won't be able to see a lot. Let's try. So I'm opening my favorite Chrome extensions, which is Web Developer, and I am disabling JavaScript. And let's see, let's reload the page. Yeah, actually the content is visible. Yeah, so I was wrong in this one. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Really cool. Maybe that some things are not like working ideally, but the site is fully functional without JavaScript. Okay, so my bad. Let me enable JavaScript. Okay, reload. So that's good. Okay, I will crawl the site now very quick, and maybe I will find something. So this is Screaming Frog. Let me quickly set it up. So entering the URL, configuration. So let me see, extraction, robots.txt, AP. I don't have API access, so I won't be doing that right now because this isn't really important. Crawl, the most important thing is to like crawl with JavaScript rendering, but I see the site, I see that shouldn't be a problem, but this is just, as I said, my first impression. Let me try to grab the sitemap if the site has it. So usually the sitemap is located in robots.txt. I don't see it. Let me like click the sitemap, there is a sitemap, okay, in the standard location. So Screaming Frog, let's get back to configuration and crawl this sitemap. So I see the site probably isn't like super huge. User agent, let's pretend we are Google. Okay, this isn't like a very, very advanced, complicated setup. I just want to simply see the pages basically that the site has. So let's let the crawler run, and let's get back to the site. Let's get back to the site. Okay, so let's get back to the site, and a few standard things I always do. Let me see the headings. Okay, so these are the headings. The site has a ton of headings, and from what I see, some of those headings are probably used like this is simply like a piece of text, like the entire sentence is used as heading. Feel confident. Let me check what's that. I'm inspecting that. This is H3 tag. Yeah, so in most cases, I wouldn't recommend doing it like that. Headings, the structure of headings should be used like chapters in a book. So on the homepage, on any page, you should have like headings used as like, there should be H1 heading, which is like the main heading, and it contains the main keyword. Then you should have H2 headings, which are basically titles optimized for SEO as well of specific sections of the website. Of course, you can have subheadings like H3, which are like subtitles of this subtitle. And usually you want to have that structure relatively like okay. Here, this structure is a little bit messy, but I wouldn't say this is like a super important thing. But on the homepage, you should have the structure of headings, and between those headings, because headings is the title of the section, there should actually be like content put in paragraph. And from what I see here, this content, those sentences are not all of them, but some of them are put are put into headings. Inspect, yeah, H3. So probably not the best option. We have those FAQs. Let me inspect that. Okay, yeah. So that's about headings. Here I can see, from what I see, these are blog posts. One thing I'm seeing, how to set up all of them, if I'm correct, link to the same page. For coding for success, how to use, tutorial. So all of those, even though they seem like different, they seem to all link to the same page. Yeah, so I just opened those in a new window, and this is tutorial. Yeah, so probably not the best use of internal linking, especially on the homepage, because we have different like sections which look different, and they all link to the same. Like, I think this is a blog page probably. Yeah, so I guess they should link to those specific articles. And now I am seeing that those specific articles here are linked, are like in the staging server or something like that. Can you see that? This is weird. Individual engineer, so it looks like some staging server. So probably that shouldn't be the case. Let me now check how many pages. It looks like this website is relatively new, and simply some of those things haven't been really fixed here. So let me go back to blog. Yeah, so it goes back here to the blog, and if I remove that, then I basically see kind of a copy of the main website. Maybe this is like an old version or something like that. And see that this page, which is basically older version or something like that. And I think a better one in this respect, that it has links in the footer, and has like and those backlinks, those links in the main menu are actually links to specific pages, so it is even better. And it is a link from this final version, so Google is probably crawling those as well. Let me check if this one is actually indexable. Yeah, it has a canonical tag pointing to the main page, but Google treats canonical tags just like a hint, so Google may respect or may not respect that. Let me check how many pages of that website are in Google's index. So I will simply type that and then site colon, and domain, and I can check more or less the pages indexed. This isn't like the final thing, and Google is now not showing how many results it has, so I don't really know. But it seems like there are a lot of pages indexed. So I can see questions, so that this is something in subdomain. This tutorial, okay. Questions. Yeah, so those look like, I'm not sure, but yeah, this one makes sense. This one, yeah, so probably some of those URLs shouldn't be indexed. They seem like a little bit thin content. Yeah, so I would definitely review those things in the subdomain. Google usually treats subdomains like a separate websites, but not always. I would probably remove those pages, add a no index tag or something like that, because I don't think they really like play a significant role here. Let me get back here. Questions. Okay, question bank. Some of them may make sense, some may not. Yeah, some of them probably rank, but I would probably review and make sure there is like some strategy, some thought put into what gets indexed and what doesn't. Let me get back here, because mostly what I'm seeing is like this one is indexed, the homepage is indexed. Let me close some of those tabs because I now have too many of them. Questions. Yeah, this one is indexed, this one is indexed, this one is indexed. Yeah, so these are like the main pages from what I see. They all seem to be indexed, but this one, like the tutorial, kind of, as I said, this contains links to like probably staging URLs. And let me check if those staging URLs are indexed. So I'm doing the same. Site colon. And yeah, as you can see, some of them are in Google's indexed, even though they are probably, from what I saw, they have, yeah, this one, this is the homepage. It has a rel canonical, but Google still indexed that because if a lot of internal links point to that, external, internal links from those pages, Google may decide that it won't listen to that hint that this page actually like makes sense. And the same one is also indexed. So yeah, as you can see, the way I do every live audit is I open the site, I start like reviewing that, I check this, that, and this kind of, and the direction in which I go kind of depends on what I find where I click. So in this case, I was just clicking through the website and I found this staging kind of or old version of the site, which I think, as I said, is probably better because we have like a separate page for Resume Builder. We have a separate page for scholarship tutorials. This is I guess the blog, and this one it has to be changed. So this is okay. Let me get back to the site, to the main site, so that maybe I can find something else as well. Let me see how Google sees the site, the main page. I don't have access to Google Search Console, and if I don't have access to Google Search Console, I can just do a rich results test, which will allow me to see the rendered screenshot and see what Google sees on that specific website. And I will be able to like have some preview here, at least some preview. Let's see. Let's wait until it finishes and let's get back to my crawler. So that's a lot of pages. I didn't expect that. Yeah. So I can have so the crawler found how many pages? Not that many. 38. Yeah. So I can see some pages within like within subdomains. Maybe I will configure it a little bit differently so that maybe it will go even deeper. Though I'm not sure if this is really important here. Let me rendering always follow redirects, preferences, content. 1 second. Custom. Yeah, I have this. This is marked crawl outside of start folder. Crawl all subdomains. So the crawler wasn't really able to find those pages. Let me check those all. So some resources. Those are interesting. Let me see what they are. Okay, so these are like some kinds of incidents. They have a canonical tag pointing to this. Okay, to this page. Okay, that's okay. But I don't really see a lot here, to be honest. This is just, as I said, I don't want this video to take 5 hours. Blog JavaScript. Do I see something important here? Page titles, messy. No, nothing really. Canonical. Yeah, probably nothing really like super important here. Probably I could configure the crawl a little bit differently and crawl it with like sidewalk as well, but let's see what the rich results test has. View tested page, screenshot. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, I think Google is seeing all that content because I checked that before. It seems to like have everything, so that shouldn't be a problem. Here's Ahrefs. So the site has some authority, has some backlinks, and is actually ranking for some keywords, which is quite okay. I can see this is a relatively new site, right? It has some backlinks, which is probably why, which may be one of the reasons why it ranks for like that many keywords. However, I would love to see like how much traffic actually it has from those keywords, because now I'm sorting it by position. So on position 1, we can see like mostly AI interview help, AI interview tool. Yeah, so there are some AI for interview, some probably good keywords it ranks for. But here I can see that 3 pages are ranking for that. So, okay, site links. We have site links. Okay. Interview helper AI. Yeah, so these are quite okay. But let's see. Position like 10. Interview. Let me sort those by volume and see if there is anything like that makes AI resume. Yeah, this might maybe this could be a good keyword, but probably this would require a separate page, super optimized, because now it is barely ranking for that keyword. EU Copilot final user AI Copilot. Those probably come from those questions, I assume. I'm not sure, but this is my guess. Copilot fake resume generator. Yeah, so what I would do is I would clean those weird links and make sure that the actual links that the site does not have links to like staging environment or old versions. Old version ideally should have a no index tag and should be password protected. I would make sure like decent keyword research has been done and like a decent group of keywords was mapped to that website, and to make sure that each of those keywords, assuming it is like a separate topic, has a dedicated page mapped to it, and this page is optimized for that keyword. So for example, AI interview tool, let's say this one. So Ahrefs allows you to like preview SERPs, and here you can see what's ranking for that keyword, and you can see the top keyword that that given page has. And sometimes if that keyword is like different, more general, in some cases it may indicate that you probably want to target a different keyword, because this keyword belongs to a group of like different to a group of keywords which are like more general. I hope I'm making sense. AI interview assistant. Let's see this one. What ranks for this? This is July. Okay. AI interview, and I can see that here most pages that rank here, their top keyword is actually AI interview assistant, which means that probably this is the keyword that makes sense ranking. Although, again, you have to make sure this isn't like branded keyword, but I think it isn't. So this is what I would do. The site, as I said, ranks for some keywords, and I would choose the keywords that make the most sense and optimize all its pages for that, and probably create more pages, because from what I see, it doesn't really have a lot of sub pages. It has only those three blog posts, but they are mostly they are not linked correctly. They are duplicated. So definitely they need more, I would say, love. Let's look at the document outline. Yeah, so the headings are more or less okay, but I would probably want to have H1, H2, and in some steps you can have H3s, FAQs, how to use AI material generator. Yeah, so probably this is a good keyword, I guess. And if this is a good keyword, you may want to like you want to optimize like the entire site, the entire page for that, and put those keywords in all the like strategic places. Let me just see this. How to use AI material generator. I don't really see that being a keyword. So again, if you decide to write about something, you want to make sure that people are actually searching for that. Of course, Ahrefs, SEMrush are not foolproof. They may show you that some keyword doesn't have any searches while it has, and vice versa. But usually you want to write about things that people are looking for, and this doesn't seem like such a topic. How to set up, how to use, how to set up. Maybe those ones make more sense. Let me check maybe some keyword with AI interview, AI resume, so keywords explorer, matching terms, questions. Sometimes you can find something here. How to use AI to write a resume. So this potentially could be a good keyword for a blog post. I guess, yeah, I think so. How to use AI. Yeah, mostly blog posts are ranking for that. So probably that could be a good keyword to target. And this would be the process. So summing up the site, I would get rid of all the weird links to like staging environments. I would create the blog and make sure this blog actually targets like the keywords that people are looking for, and the same is true for pages. So decent keyword research is definitely necessary here, keyword mapping, and when building those pages, those blog posts, you need to remember about like the fundamental rules of targeting a keyword. So the target keyword always needs to be like put in all the strategic places, like titles, meta descriptions, headings, content, alt tags. And when targeting a keyword, you have to make sure that this actually is a keyword that can stand on its own, meaning that this keyword is not like part of a bigger keyword, of a bigger topic. And usually with any keyword, you have a bunch of like supporting keywords, which you also want to include. Quora may be helpful here, but I think in this case, I would start with like basics, making, as I said, adding new pages, adding blog posts, improving the structure, and this learn more. I don't like learn more. Okay, so it is for login. I don't like learn more links. Let me one more. The last thing. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Inspect iPhone. Let's say it is iPhone. Yeah, so it looks okay on a mobile device. Okay, so I can see some things here probably to be reviewed as well. As I said, this is a quick preview overview. I probably have missed a ton of things, and I could add a ton of things, but those are the things I am seeing like right away. And yeah, that's all for this video, and good luck with your website, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.